yan and jurisprudence. So before, hindi yan kasali yung CGS sa criminal law under the old curriculum. So ngayon sa inyo, no choice kayo kasi sinali na ang CGS sa criminal law and jurisprudence. Actually, doon naman talaga or nararapat lang talaga na sa criminal law ilagay ang CGS natin. So, pag sinabi natin CGS Plus, magkaiba yan sa tinatawag natin na Criminal Justice System sa tinatawag natin na Philippine Criminal Justice System. Mamaya, malalaman natin kung ano yung kaibahan nilang dalawa. So, kung titingnan ninyo class, ipipresent ko muna ang question dito or yung TOS para rather natin sa ating criminal justice system mamaya. So, tandaan niyo ang CGS and human rights, only 5 questions lang. 5 each questions ang lalabas doon. Possible na lalabas doon. Kaya that's why, as long as alam mo yung pinaka-basic ng subject na yan, wala ka ng problema. Ano ba, sa human rights, alam mo yung pinaka-basic ng human rights, yung mga basic rights na yon. Or pagdating naman sa CGS, alam mo yung 5 components ng CGS natin. So most likely, masasagot at masasagot mo ang mga tanong sa board exam. Okay? So tandaan nyo, 5 questions lang ang magagaling dito sa CGS. That's why hindi tayo more doon. Yung hindi tayo mag-dwell or mag-focus more on the CGS. Pero i-explain pa rin natin in detail, 'di ba? So kasi ang CGS 5 questions lang. That's why mas di-devote natin yung time natin sa procedure, evidence, and other subject in the CLJ. Kasi yun yung maras maraming itatanong. Okay? So, dapat alam nyo yung kalaban ninyo pagdating sa board exam. But before that, i-remind ko lang kayo palagi kapag sumasagot kayo ng mga questions or CLE board questions, yung methods of answering CLE question natin. Of course, una dyan palagi, read twice the question or read the question twice. So again, ulitin natin palagi kapag sumasagot kayo ng board exam question, always read the question twice or thrice or 5 times. Okay, so para alam niyo kung paano or avoid yung pag-rush sa mga question at sa pagsagot ng mga board question. Wala namang humahawol sa inyo, di ba? So that's why very important na take your time. Okay? Dapat always mag-take time kayo sa pagsagot. So read twice. Twice ang pinaka-minimum. Kahit familiar yung question sa iyo, dapat basahin mo twice yan or 3 times, 5 times as much as possible. Wala namang humahabol sa iyo pagdating sa board exam class. Kaya maximize your time. Read twice the question. Then, pangalawa, think twice. Ibig sabihin, kapag you already read the question as nabasa mo ng tanong, tapos yung suggested answer, so of course, that's the time or mag-iisip ka na ngayon, di ba, ng possible answer to the question. Tama? So kapag nakaisip ka na ng possible answer to the question, so yan, yung tinatawag natin na think twice. Okay, then of course, yung pangatlo, yung third, that is the most important one na palaging sinasabi, answer once. Okay, so bakit importante yung answer once class? Okay, bakit importante yung answer once natin? Kasi nga, pagdating sa board exam class do not change or erase your answer. It will be marked wrong anyway. Okay, so again, ulitin natin. Do not change or erase your answer. It will be marked wrong anyway. So, useless ang pag-change mo ng sagot kasi ang machine naman ang mag-check niyan sa board exam. Okay, that's why always answer one. So again, kasi sinabi na nga ng PRC, do not change or erase your answer. It will be marked wrong anyway. Tapos ikaw naman, na feeling mo, tama yung ginawa mo. Of course, that's mali yan. Kasi, again, number one rule sa board exam, kung gusto mo talaga pumasa or mag-avoid yung error, you must answer the question once only. Then, fourth, in case naman na halimbawa in case na tinatawag natin na wala ngayon or first time mo na encounter ang question na yan class. So, ang mangyayari dyan, so wala ka talagang idea on that particular topic, tama? So, ang gagawin mo kapag ganon, kapag wala kang idea, so meron tayong tinatawag na if you don't know the answer, then know how to answer. Okay, nakuha ba? So again, ulitin natin. If you don't know the answer, then know how to answer. So anong gagawin natin, class? Yung halimbawa, you are not familiar with a question or you are not familiar with the words or topics na tinatanong sa board exam. So that's the time you will apply the process of elimination. Process of elimination is very tested formula, di ba? Kapag ano natin tested formula in the examination, ibig sabihin nun, you will eliminate ngayon yung mga possible or yung mga common sa'yo or familiar na words sa'yo. Okay? I-eliminate mo ngayon yung familiar words sa'yo. Then after that, kapag na-eliminate mo na yung familiar words, so meaning, ang natitira diyan, posible siya yung magiging sagot sa tanong na yan. Nawa? Kaya that's why, ayan yung purpose ng process of elimination. Kapag familiar sa yung terms or topics na yan, posible na hindi yan sagot. So, ang natitira, posible siya yung magiging sagot. So, that is a process of elimination. Again, when you don't know the answer, then know how to answer. Then, that's the time you will apply the process of elimination. Tandaan nyo, class, it is a method of answering CLO questions. So that's why dapat pag sumasagot kayo, dapat hindi diretso sagot Yung iba kasi pag nakita familiar ang question, hindi na binabasa lahat, sumasagot na agad. That is wrong. Dapat ito yung ma-instill sa inyo pagdating na sa board exam. Read twice the question, think twice, answer once. Very important yung answer once. Do not change or erase your answer. It will be marked wrong anyway. Then if you don't know the answer, then know how to answer, then that's the time you will apply the process of elimination. So again, isulat niyo dyan sa kung saan kayo naka-study ngayon or saan kayo nag-aaral ngayon, nag-study, yung methods of answering CLF question natin. Dapat ito yung gagawin niyo sa mga sinasagutan ninyo soon. Diba? So, in the answering CLF, read twice, think twice, answer once. If you don't know the answer, then know how to answer. Then, sorry, that's the time you will apply the process of elimination. Okay, nakuha ba? Okay, may question dito sa methods? Wala na, nakuha na ninyo. So, ito yung ano nyo isa puso at isa isip ninyo, class, yung method of answering CLA question natin. Okay, so kung wala na, let's continue dito. Okay, dito tayo. So, of course, class, ito yung bagong POS natin. Okay, ito yung bagong POS natin when it comes to uh, the board examination. Okay, so dito tayo. So, dapat ma-explain natin yung roles and functions of the following agency natin. Of course, we have the PNP, the NBI, BFP, and PDEA in criminal justice system. Then 1.2, discuss the role and prosecutor of the prosecutor class in the administration of justice, specifically in conducting PI or preliminary investigation and inquest proceeding. So actually na-explain na natin what is PI, what is inquest proceeding. So mas madali na lang to. Then describe the hierarchy of courts and the jurisdiction of trial courts. Then 1.4, understand the role and functions of the GMP and Bucor in the CGN. So first, pupunta rin yan sa correction. So ito yung bagong POS natin, class nagkagamitin na sa August 2024 PLE. So ito lang. Ito lang yung coverage ng CGS class, di ba? Ang liit. Then most of them or most of the topics we already discussed last time, di ba? So tanda nyo, there are only 5 possible questions na lalabas sa CGS natin. So, dalawang question dito sa 1.1, isang question dito sa 1.2, isang dito sa 1.3, at isa dito sa 1.4. So, 5 possible questions lang ang lalabas dyan. Okay, nakuha ba? Okay, naintindihan ninyo? Nandyan pa ba kayo? Nandyan pa? Nakaki-confirm nga sa comment section bakit wala akong
Yes,
naririnig.
coach.
Okay, nandyan na. Sige. Okay, so yun class ang ating TOS ngayon. Okay, kasi um, ah, hindi ko rin pwedeng ibigay ang TOS class kasi it is not yet published sa PRC kahit yung ibang nagko-contact sa akin, ibang uh, RC at ibang school o ibang mga reviewees na gusto nilang kunin. Pero of course class, hindi ko pwedeng ibigay yon kasi hindi pa naman nilalabas ng PRC. So, maswerte kayo kasi nakuha na natin. So, posible or wala na tayong magiging doon. Okay, so we are already ready na explain na natin. Nakafocus na tayo doon. Okay, so dito tayo class, before mag-proceed tayo, so dapat alam nyo muna yung forms of government natin. Of course, we have different forms of government in the world na sinusunod natin. So una dyan, we have the democracy. Of course, ang democracy, it is a form of government wherein the power of sovereignty is exercised and resides in the people. Ibig sabihin, ang boss dito, class, or ang mas makapangyarihan dito in democracy is on the people. O ibig sabihin, on citizenry. It may be classified as pure or representative democracy. Tandaan nyo, ang democracy, ibig sabihin, we have the power or the people has the supreme, is the supreme, ibig sabihin, sila yung may kapangyarihan or tayo ang may kapangyarihan na magluklok sa pwesto, yung halimbawa yung presidente natin. So, tayo may kapangyarihan diyan na i-vote siya. And tayo rin lang may kapangyarihan na mapawalang yung tinatawag natin class na mawala siya sa pwesto, 'di ba? So that's why yan yung forms of government natin. Una, we have democracy. Again, ang democracy natin, it is a form of the government wherein the power resides on its people. Ibig sabihin, ang pinakamakapangyarihan dyan class is yung tao. So ibig sabihin, yung ating mga president or ating mga officials, elected officials, whether they are elected or they are appointed. So ang mas makapangyarihan class or ang sinusunod nila, hindi yung pansarili nila. Of course, ang sinusunod nila dyan, yung kagustuhan ng nakakarami. Okay, that's why tinawag natin yan na democracy. Sa Pilipinas, meron tayong tinatawag na Republican, dalawa ha. Pag tanong sa board exam, what is the form of government in the Philippines? So dalawa yung class. Okay, so mamaya i-explain ko at the end of this, yung forms of the government. Yung aristocracy naman, that is another form of the government wherein the power is exercised by a limited or few or so-called elite. Okay, again, ulit na natin. Ang aristocracy, ang tawag natin dyan, it is a form of the government wherein the power is exercised by a limited few or the so-called elite, yung mas nakakataas lang class sa lipunan. It is always regarded as the privileged class. Again, ulitin natin. Kapag ang democracy, it is a form of government that the power is resides or lies in its people. So while ang aristocracy naman, it is a form of government class wherein yung power is exercised by limited or few or ilan lamang yung tinatawag natin class na elites. That's why yan yung aristocracy. That is the opposite class of democracy. Ang democracy, ang mas makapangyarihan, ang tao, its people, while ang aristocracy naman, ilan lamang or the privileged class of people in the society. Okay? So, yan yung tinatawag natin class na aristocracy. Okay? Nakuha ba? Nasundan ninyo? Okay ba kayo dyan? Okay. So, bakit walang sumasagot? Okay. Sige. O, di ba maganda pala magklase ng morning, no? Kahit hindi ako morning person, pero maganda pala kasi parang smooth lang. Okay, so from time to time, magkaklase tayo kapag may time ako ng morning. So, kapag ano naman kayo available. Then, of course, another forms of the government class is what we call the monarchy. So, ang monarchy naman, it is a form of government wherein the power or sovereignty by one person only. Usually, of course, it is presided or it is led by king or queen, di ba? So, it is led by king or queen. It could either be absolute or limited monarchy. So again, ang monarchy class, of course, yan yung uso ngayon, di ba? Pati sa Europe, marami tayong monarchy class. Sa Netherlands, sa ano pa, yung mga may monarchy, yung may king and queen class. So again, ang monarchy class is tinatawag natin yan na form of the government wherein the power of sovereignty resides on one person only. Ibig sabihin, it may be a king or a queen. So yan yung tinatawag natin na monarchy class. Ibig sabihin, there is a succession. Kung sino yung next na napapalit sa kanya kapag namatay yung king, okay, posible yung next in kin or next in line sa kanya. So yan yung tinatawag natin class na monarchy. So again, ang monarchy is a form of government wherein the power or sovereignty resides on one person, particularly or usually a king or queen. Okay, in that particular country class. Basta kapag king and queen, that is what they call monarchy. Okay? Then of course, we have the presidential. Ang presidential naman, of course, it is a form of government wherein the president is the chief executive of the state and independent of legislator with respect to his senior acts and policies. Okay, so presidential, di ba? A form of government where the president is the chief executive, of course, of the state and independent of the legislator with respect to the tenure and acts of the policies. Of course, presidential palagi yung tandaan. Of course, president is acted as the chief executive of the state. Okay, ibig sabihin, siya mismo ang gagawa ng mga acts and policies. Okay, unlike sa Republican diba, or democracy, meron tayong tatlong forms of the government and it lies on the legislative branch to create or enact laws. Diba? So that's why dito sa presidential, of course, the president will lead. So another forms of the government class is the parliamentary. Ang parliamentary, it is a form of the government wherein the president it serves as the nominal or titular head. Again, ulitin natin, ang parliamentary, the president will serve as nominal or titular head, or it is the prime minister that runs the affairs of the state. Again, the prime minister ang nagra-run or siya yung namamahala class ng mga affairs and services of the state or the government. So he is directly accountable to his people. So under the system, the ministry is legally responsible to the legislature and consequently to the electorate. Okay, again, ulitin natin, ang parliamentary, yung president will serve as the nominal or titular head. Then the prime minister that runs the affairs of the state. So may parliament, diba? So sa ibang bansa class, di ba, meron silang tinatawag or mas sinusunod sila na parliamentary or there is a parliament. Then, of course, ang military, it is a form of government established and controlled by military authorities over at the league state or the leaguer state. So, tanong nyo class, ang military, so kapag halimbawa nagkaroon ng kudita, gusto nila di ba, ang purpose naman talaga ng kudita is to change the head of the government, mapalitan ang president. Kapag sa military class, nakuha na nila yung control and ownership or ang authorities, halimbawa, napatalsik na nila ang president. So, meaning class, kapag nakuha na nila ang form of the government na ipapairal nila, of course, is military. Okay? Ibig sabihin, it is controlled by military authorities over its constituents or over Earth state. Okay? So, yan yung tinatawag natin. So, may nagtanong dito yung example pa daw ng ng bar ay example daw ng parliamentary or yung prime minister is yung sa bar. Okay, so far class sa Pilipinas, wala pa tayo niyan. Okay, wala pa tayo yung ganun. Of course, yung sa bar, ano lang yan, naka-separate lang sila. Pero sa ibang bansa, yun talaga yung formal or yung overall na tinatawag natin class or yung formal parliamentary system. Sa Pilipinas, hindi pa naman talaga totally class. Okay, so ano ko yan, maybe soon after 10 years or after 5 years, posible na maging parliamentary parliamentary government, di ba? So, yeah. Then of course, we have the federal. Okay. Okay, so we have the federal form of the government. Okay, so ang federal form of the government class, ito yon. It is a form of government where the power of the state is divided into two. Again, ulitin natin, ang federal, ito yung, ano yung, ito yung familiar sa atin, di ba? Yung ano natin, di ba? Yung paggustuhan na maging federal form of the government ng Pilipinas. So, ang federal, ibig sabihin, national for national affairs and local for local affairs. So, dalawa na class. So, parang ang mangyayari sa federal forms of the government class, may head every island. Ano ba? Diba tatlo yung island sa Pilipinas? Or tatlo yung ano natin, nahahati sa Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So meron tayong national government, tapos merong head per Luzon, Luzon Island, Visayas, and Mindanao. So each organ is independent in own sphere. Ibig sabihin, yung kita ng Mindanao para lang sa kanila, yung kita ng Visayas doon lang yun sa kanila, then ang kita ng Luzon doon lang. So ibig sabihin, yung kita ng every state, halimbawa natin, sabihin natin maging state na sila. So meaning class, ang kita nila, yun yung gagamitin sa pagpapatayo ng mga infrastructures lahat-lahat. Kasi ang nangyayari ngayon, ang kita ng Mindanao, ang kita ng Visayas, nire-remit pa rin sa Luzon or yung sa pinaka-main natin or sa national government natin. That's why hindi masyadong distributed ang government services or yung mga, di ba, meron pa rin mga lugar sa Pilipinas na walang mga roads and highways. Pero sa Ghana naman, di ba, yung kita. Pero bakit hindi na distribute? Kaya that's why maganda talaga class na maging federal form of government ang Pilipinas, no? Maging federal form of government ang Pilipinas kung saan kung ano yung kita ng Visayas, doon lang sa kanila. Kung anong kita ng Mindanao, doon rin. Kung anong kita ng Luzon, doon rin sa kanila. Para every island or yung ano na yun, may karapatan or merong chance to progress, 'di ba? Dapat meron din silang ano na ay dito muna. So masagana naman ang kita nila dito. So dito na lang natin gagamitin muna. So pero ngayon hindi pa naman nagkakaroon ng federal form of government. So far class nung sa Baguio ako dati mga 3 years ago, isa kami sa mga isa ako pala sa mga yung nag-training sa mga speaker ng mga sa federal forms of government yung para kumbaga i-campaign yung federal forms of the governments that time. Doon kami sa may Sunview Hotel sa Baguio. For how many months yun eh. Kasi kami yung mga facilitators nag-training. Maganda talaga ang federal form of the government. So isa siya sa nakikita ko na mag-improve talaga ang Pilipinas, di ba? Kasi may national affairs, meron may local. Then kumbaga each island, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, meron talagang time or may opportunity talaga to progress, no? Hindi lang yung sa lahat ng services or lahat ng mga trabaho na pupunta sa Luzon, di ba? It's about time na dalhin na rin sa Visayas and Mindanao. Kasi nga, very important rin na mag-switch tayo sa federal form of the government. Pero so far ngayon, hindi pa naman. So, wag muna natin problemahin yun. Then, of course, we have the revolutionary form of the government. So again, it is a form of government wherein the state is obtained by means of force. Okay, revolutionary form of the government wherein na-seize or naagaw sa existing government or existing state yung kapangyarihan to govern yung tinatawag natin na bansa na yon. Okay, so that's why it is a revolutionary class, a revolutionary form of the government. Okay, so yan. So meron tayong tinatawag rin na de jure. Okay, kung de jure or de jure. Okay, so it is a form of government that is founded on existing legal or constitutional basis. Ulitin natin, ang de jure class, ibig sabihin, yung form of government yan kung saan naka-based yung form of the government on the existing legal or constitutional basis of each country or a particular state or a particular country. Ang de facto naman, ang de facto, it is a form of government that is not founded by constitutional law. It exists in the fact, but it's not in the law. Okay, so de facto, So ang de jure, that is based on constitutional basis or based on the legal basis. Ang de facto naman, that is based on existing facts, but not on the law or not on the constitution. Then ang civil or civil form of the government that is run by elected civilian officials. Okay, so it is run by elected officials of civilian in nature. Okay, so yan yung tinatawag natin class na the forms of the government. Pero palaging tinatanong naman class, hindi naman tinatanong pa si de jure, de facto, civil. Ang palaging tinatanong dyan sa board exam is yung what form of government ang meron sa Pilipinas. Okay, so again, ano yung form of government na meron tayo class? Okay, is it democracy? Is
Democracy.
it the Republican? Or is it revolutionary? Or is it military? Ano class? Okay, kasi once tinanong na rin yan once sa board exam, kung ano yung form of government na meron tayo. Okay. Is it democracy or is it Republican or is it both? Republican and democracy. Ano yung form of government natin? Sige nga. Sige, pakilagay sa comment section. Okay, so meron ng sagot. Okay, so of course, class, ang forms of the government natin, class, is both Republican and democracy. Dalawa, ah. So hindi lang democracy, class. Ulitin natin, ang form of the government na meron tayo, class, is both Republican and democracy. Kaya di ba nagtinawag ng Pilipinas na Republic of the Philippines? Ibig sabihin, kapag republic, it is led by the president. Again, ulitin natin, what we call, ano yung forms of the governments na meron sa Pilipinas, Republic and the Philippines. Republic of the Philippines, kaya tinawag ng Republic of the Philippines kasi nga, we are Republican. Ibig sabihin, ang kaibahan niya class, Republican or Republic of the Philippines kasi nga it is led by a representative which is the president. Tayo rin ang nag-elect sa kanya. So paano natin siya in-elect? Of course, through the power of election. So that is democracy. Nagkaroon tayo ng democracy, may democracy tayo sa Pilipinas. Ibig sabihin, we have the freedom to choose class kung sino yung magiging leader natin. So that is the power of democracy. Ibig sabihin, the authority or the power and authority is vested on its people. Tayo ang may kapangyarihan, tayo ang nagluklok sa president, then tayo rin ang may karapatan or may kapangyarihan class na mapaalis siya sa pwesto. Pag tanong sa board exam, kahit sa civil service, kung ano yung mag-take ninyo class, maraming nagsasagot kasi dito ng mga criminology. Ang sinasagot nila palagi is democracy kasi yun lang yung alam nila. Pero tandaan nyo class, ang forms of the government or ang form of the government na sinusunod sa Pilipinas is both Republican and democracy. Okay? So, ang tawag natin doon class, dalawa kasi yan. Ang Republican, that is the system of the government na meron tayo. While ang democracy naman, of course, that is how the government works. Ibig sabihin, paano nagpa-function ang ating ating bansa. And that's why dalawa yan class. Form of the government natin, meron tayong dalawa ha. Hindi lang democracy class o di ba mabuti na tanong ko no. Kasi sa comment section or kasi dito sa Zoom natin, maraming sumasagot ng democracy. Okay, ibig sabihin class, there is a problem. Walang problema sa knowledge niyo. Knowledge-wise, na nabasa niyo na yan, nakuha niyo na yan. Pero, of course, kailangan niyo pa ng deep reading or deep class. Kasi sa board exam, or kahit anong examination i-take niyo class, dapat deep ang pagkaintindi niyo sa isang topic. That's why pag tanong sa board exam, paano or ano yung forms of the government na meron tayo sa Pilipinas? Of course, both yan class, Republican and democracy. So again, represent ang Republican state, ibig sabihin, it is led by the president or it is, we have the representative which is the president, nire-represent niya ang people. Then, ang democracy naman, so we have the freedom to choose ang authority and power it is lies or is vested with its people sa atin. Okay? So yung kapangyarihan na mag-elect sa kanya at iluklok dyan siya sa pwesto, then tayo rin may kapangyarihan na paalisin sa pwesto. That's why, class, ang forms of the government na meron tayo, both Republican and Democratic, of course, that is in relations to the 1987 Constitution. Okay. Okay, so yan, iba pala yun. Yes, magkaiba yan sila. Dapat deep ang pagkaintindi ninyo, class. Okay na ba? Naintindihan nyo na? Naintindihan nyo na? So, dapat clear ha, yung forms of the government na meron tayo. So, dalawa yan. Okay, Republican and Democratic. And si Republican and Democracy class and Democratic is not the same. Kaya ginamit natin yung and class kasi nga, they are two separate. Okay, so yeah. So yan, akala ko din talaga democracy lang. Okay lang yan. Importante na clear natin dito. Okay, so, okay. Uh, hmm. Okay, so tanda nyo class, sinabi ko kanina, okay, so na dapat alam niyo muna yung difference or yung definition mismo ng subject ninyo, di ba? Palagi yung sinasabi sa mga reviewees natin. That's why very important na alam nyo yung definition mismo ng subject. Kasi yun yung kainaan ng mga estudyante. Kasi di ba lahat ng ano pinupuntahan ko mostly ng school, university and review centers, alam nila yung content ng subject nila pero hindi nila alam muna o hindi nila inaalam muna yung definition mismo ng subject mismo nila, 'di ba? Halimbawa, ang CGS versus PCGS, hindi pa rin nila alam, 'di ba? Or is criminal law, no, iba karang ganun. Very basic 'yun, pero pagdating sa board exam, 'yun lang naman talaga ang tinatanong ng una, 'di ba? So that's why very important na alam mo ang definition mismo ng subject natin class. Okay, nakuha? So, last time, di ba, ang out of only six ang bumagsak lang sa ating sa batch na ano natin, yung mga senior ninyong class. Tapos ngayon, hopefully 100% no, papasa na kayo or papasa lahat. Again, at the end of the day, nasa inyo pa rin yan kung gusto nyo pumasa or hindi. Kahit ano yung gawin natin, nasa sa inyo pa rin ang time. Di ba? Lahat ng resources, binigay ko naman dyan. Lahat ng videos nandyan. Lahat ng ano natin. So, dapat alam na alam niyo yan. Or dapat maging masipag kayo, nandyan na lahat. Di ba? So again, pag sinabi nating CGS, magkaiba yan sa PCGS. Pag tandaan niyo pag sinabi nating criminal justice system, it is the machinery. Pag sinabi nating machinery, of course, it is a tool or pamamaraan. It is used in prevention and control of crime. Again, ulitin natin. Ang criminal justice system or the CJS, it is used or it is a machinery or a tool or it is a means in prevention and control of crime. Ibig sabihin, to prevent the existence of crime and to control that crime. Kasi nga nag-exist na sa community natin, that is what we call the CGS. Ang PCGS naman, it is the machinery or tool na ginagamit ng Philippine government in prevention and control of crime. Tandaan nyo class, ang common denominator nila, ang pagkakaparehas nila ng CGS at PCGS, ang criminal justice system, ginagamit rin yan sa prevention and control of crime. Same as too with Philippine criminal justice system, ginagamit lang rin yan sa prevention and control of crime. Pero pagdating sa board exam class, ang tandaan nyo lang dyan, ang pagkakaiba nila dito sa PCGS, ginagamit to ng Philippine government or ng Philippine State in prevention and control of crime. Nakuha ba? Nakuha ninyo class? So yan yung kaibahan class ng CGS and PCGS. Again, ulitin natin ang CGS. It is the machinery or it is a tool. Of course, common denominator rin nila ng machinery rin. Dito rin, ginagamit in prevention and control of crime. Same as true with PCGS. Pero ang kaibahan niya lang class, ang kumbaga unique sa kanya, ang PCGS, ginagamit yan ng Philippine government. Pag nakita mo class ang board exam, sinabi niya, it is the machinery used by the Philippine government in prevention and control of crime. Ang sagot mo dyan is PCGS. Pag tinanong niya naman, it is the machinery used in prevention and control of crime. Ang sagot dyan is CGS. Okay? So I hope it's clear. Okay. Next, dito tayo class. Pakibasa nga Ay ako na lang yung magbabasa din, sagutan nyo na lang para sa comment section. So the original components of the criminal justice system are the following except. Okay, letter A, court. Letter B, prosecution. Letter C, law enforcement. And letter D, correction. Okay, what is your answer on the comment section, class? So, tanan nyo, 5 possible questions lang ang lalabas sa CGS na area or na subject. So, dito na tayo. So, letter B, sir. Okay, so, bakit may nag-ano dito? Nandito pala si Sir Lemuel. Wala kang duty, sir. So again, the original components of criminal justice system are the following class. Ang tinatanong niya is the original component of the CGS. Of course, the question is pertaining to the original component na nag-originate sa Amerika, di ba? Merong duty si sir. So sa America class, tandaan nyo lang palagi yung acronym natin, di ba, na LCC. Di ba, LCC, of course, we have the law enforcement, the courts, and correction. So tatlo lang palagi class, or tatlo lang talaga yung kanilang components or yung pillars sa kanila, di ba? That pillars ang tawag sa kanila. Pero sa atin ngayon class, ang pillars that is, no, hindi na yan ginagamit sa ngayon. Wala ng term na pillars that is already called as component or elements. Okay? So, sa ibang bansa or sa US, still tatlo pa rin ang tawag natin na component nila doon. Law enforcement, courts, and correction. Okay? So, LCC. So, law enforcement, courts, and correction. So, of course, basically, hindi kasali dyan si prosecution. Di ba? Tandaan nyo, class, sa US, kung saan nag-originate ang ating criminal justice system, okay. Saan nag-originate ang ating criminal justice system? Of course, law enforcement, we have the court and corrections kanila. Sa atin, 5 kasi. Okay, so 5 components ang meron tayo or 5 elements. Sa nila, still tatlo pa yan. Kaya mas mabilis yung pag-administer or administration of justice sa kanila daw, di ba? So that's why very important na alam niyo yung class. So tandaan niyo palagi, ang original components natin ng CGS, kung saan nag-originate sa Amerika, is ang acronym natin dyan is LCC. Law Enforcement, Courts, and Correction. Tatlo lang. Kaya mabilis ang administration of justice sa kanila class. Okay? Nakuha? So yan. Court, Law Enforcement, and Correction. Okay, so of course class, ito yung kanila. Okay, American Criminal Justice Assembly Line. So ano lang natin kasi hindi naman masyadong tuwa nagtatanong dito sa board exam. Of course, sa law enforcement class, nandiyan na yung crime, initial contact. Of course, pag sinabi natin initial contact with the suspect or the victim, then investigation nandiyan na rin, then arrest na rin nandiyan, then of course, makuha nila yung custody. So yan yung trabaho ng law enforcement doon under the American Criminal Justice System. Sa courts naman class, nandyan yung charging. O, di ba? Di ba sa Pilipinas, kasi yung charging, it is kaninong trabaho yan? Yung charging sa Pilipinas, di ba? The prosecution or the prosecutor. Di ba? Then of course, yung arraignment, di ba? Yung arraignment, nandyan na rin. Yung bail, plea bargaining, or plea negotiations ng tawag sa kanila, trial and sentencing, nandyan na rin. Di ba? Agad-agad. After that, kapag yung na-sentence na siya, so papasok na siya ngayon sa correction, release decision, post-release, and rehabilitation. So trabaho na yan lahat ng correction. So sa atin kasi, merong added feature, di ba? meron pa tayong community, which is the unique, di ba? Yan yung pinaka-unique worldwide. Tandaan nyo, class, ang ating PCGS, that is the most unique CGS na meron tayo. Okay, so yan yung tinatawag natin na meron tayo, class. Unique ang CGS natin or at ating Philippine Criminal Justice System worldwide kasi tayo lang may community na added. Kaya that's why tinawag ang community as the added unique feature under the criminal justice system. Okay? So, nakuha ba? Okay. So, yun, class. So, never stop learning, di ba? So, never stop learning, class, yung ano ninyo. So, kaya kahit yung mga students ko na, ano no, yung mga students ko na mga senior ninyo, 3 years ago or 5 years, 3 years ago or 4 years ago na-handle natin mga art stream na sila ngayon. Kahit ang tuturo nasa academe, nasa uh, maganda pa rin kahit na mga lecturer na rin sila, nagpapaturo pa rin or kailangan pa rin nila ng continuous learning. Di ba, paano to explain? Di ba, kahit mga top-notcher yan sila, nagko-consult pa rin, tatawag pa rin yan sa akin paano i-explain yung ganito, ganyan. Okay, so of course, hindi naman ako pinakamagaling or hindi, nagkakamali rin naman ako minsan. That's why open ako for correction, di ba? Kasi kapag hindi ka open for correction, class, of course, that's the time na hanggang doon ka na lang. Okay? So, of course, may mga lapses rin or may mga ano. Kaya that's why, kung nagkamali man, of course, kailangan mo i-admit yun. Okay? So, para to grow. So, never stop learning. Okay? So, dito tayo, class. Okay, what is your answer dito? So, the recital of rights of a suspect during custodial investigation. Again, the recital of rights, of course, di ba? Yung i-recite sa iyo, okay, yung rights mo. So you have the right to remain silent. Everything you said will be used against you. You have the right of counsel or preferably with your own choice, blah, blah, blah. Okay, anong tawag natin doon, class? When the recital of rights, or it is the recital of rights of a suspect during custodial investigation. Okay, so what is your answer, class, on the comment section? Okay, lahat sumagot, class? Tandaan nyo, class, ang question natin is the recital of rights, ha? We are not talking about the rights, kung ano yan. Pag na-recite na sa iyo yung rights during custodial investigation, ano yung sagot natin dyan? Okay, so some of you hindi na na-comprehend maayos ang question. Kaya that's why, class, very important na ang bala ninyo pagdating sa board exam is yung skills or yung technique paano sagutin ang question, di ba? So, masaya ako, di ba? Siyempre, kahit for how many season already, na kahit hindi ko sila student sa review or sa online man or sa face-to-face review, kahit sa review center sila, yung mga techniques ko na pinopost sa board sa YouTube, sa ano class, nagagamit nila yon. Okay, so ibig sabihin yun yung ano nila, yung technique nila. So, nakukuha nila yung technique. So, di ba, fulfillment yun kasi nakakatulong ka sa kanila, di ba? Tapos gamit na gamit nila during the board exam. Okay. Sige, pag sinabi nating recital of rights of a suspect during custodial investigation, so ang sagot natin dyan, okay, tandaan ninyo, ulitin natin. I-explain po na natin, class, what is custodial investigation para mas maliwanagan kayo, di ba? So, kasi under the new TOS, nakalagay doon na i-explain natin ang inquest proceeding and custodial investigation. Pag sinabi natin custodial investigation, that is the questioning of a suspect or that is the questioning of a police or that is the questioning of a suspect or person of interest under the police custody. Again, ulitin natin. Kapag kine-question ka, class, under the police custody or under the area or kapag nasa police station ka, class, or yung involvement mo to the crime, ang tawag natin doon is what we call the custodial investigation. Again, ulitin natin. Pag sinabi natin custodial investigation, that is the questioning of a person under the police custody on its involvement class on the said crime or in the commission of the crime. Again, ulit natin, kapag kina-question ka based on the commission of the crime or your involvement class under the police custody, ang tawag natin doon class is custodial investigation. Nakuha ba? Nakuha ba ninyo? Ulitin ko, pag sinabi natin custodial investigation, that is the questioning of a suspect under the police custody. Okay, that is what they call custodial investigation. Okay, so nakuha nyo? So then, of course, class, pag sinabi niya, ang question niya dito, class, is the recital of rights. Ibig sabihin, sasabihin sa'yo, okay, yung mga rights mo. Kasi kapag hindi ka, class, or hindi ka na, basta-basta ka na lang i-question or basta-basta na lang arrestuhin, tapos hindi nasabi yung mga rights mo, of course, that is tantamount to the dismissal of the case. So, pwedeng, ano, oh yan, hindi ka pwedeng, anong tawag natin dito? Pagdating sa board exam or pagdating kapag hindi mo ma-recite ang mga rights class ng person to be arrested or person under your custody, so it will be tantamount to the dismissal of the case. So, pwedeng ma-dismiss ang kaso. Okay. So yan tinatawag natin class na anong tawag natin dyan pag sinabi natin recital of rights of a suspect? Okay, ang sagot natin dyan class kapag i-recite sa'yo ang rights mo. Okay, so of course ang tawag natin dyan class, hindi po that is Miranda warning. Okay, so again, pag sinabi natin recital of rights, sorry, that is Miranda warning. Hindi po Miranda rights ha. Of course, Miranda rights ang tawag natin dito. Pero kapag in-recite mo na yan class, Miranda warning ang tawag natin doon. Kaya they are one in the same. Pero iba-ibang gamit yan. Yung Miranda warning, Miranda doctrine, Miranda rights, iisa lang yan sila, pero iba-ibang term ang paggamit natin. Pag nirecite mo, okay, kapag nirecite ng person or ng officer or ng law enforcement officer, ang tawag natin dyan is Miranda warning. Yung mga rights mo na nirecite niya, Miranda rights ang tawag natin doon. Okay, yung doctrine, doctrine. Kaya pagdating sa board exam class, kung ano ang tinatanong ng examiner, okay, kung anong tinatanong ng examiner class, yun lang yung sagutin ninyo. Nakuha ninyo? Pag tinanong niya, it is the recital of rights. Ay, tapos ang letter A, Miranda rights. Letter B, Miranda warning. Eh, parehas naman silang tama. Pero sinabi niya, i-recite daw yung rights, recital of rights. So meaning, that is Miranda warning class. Hindi yan Miranda rights. Nakuha nyo? Pero iisa lang yan sila. Iba-iba lang ang interpretation, o iba-iba lang ang gamit nila. Nakuha ba ninyo? Pag tinanong niya, it is the rights of a suspect during custodial investigation. Of course, ang sagot natin doon is Miranda rights. Pag sinabi niya, it is the recital of rights of a suspect during custodial investigation, that is Miranda warning. Nakuha ba? Nakuha ninyo? Nakuha ninyo? So, ganun kasimple class ang pagdating sa board exam. Kailangan nyo makuha class yung strategy or kailangan nyo makuha. Okay, so kailangan nyo makuha class yung strategy or yung technique na palagi kong i-instill sa students. Kasi kahit pagdating sa board exam class, kahit sabihin natin na hindi familiar ang question sa'yo, kapag nakuha mo yung technique ko or nakuha mo yung strategy paano sagutin yan, wala yan, chicken, di ba? Kaya sinabi ko, kapag kahit basahin mo lahat ng libro, tapos wala kang technique sa pagsagot, useless yan. Pero, so, nagbasa ka ng maayos or marami kang knowledge na nakuha, tapos may technique ka pa or nakuha mo pa yung technique, so very powerful examiner ka. Okay? So, yan yung tinatawag natin class na Miranda warning. Okay. So, yan yung tinatawag natin na Miranda warning class. Okay? So, again, the recital of rights of a suspect during custodial investigation, that is Miranda warning. So, ano naman yung tinatawag natin na Bill of Rights class? Okay, again, what is the Bill of Rights na natawag natin? What is Bill of Rights? Okay, so ang Bill of Rights naman class, so yun yung tinatawag natin class na the set of rights of an individual. So ang Bill of Rights, yun yung mga set of rights of an individual class na nagbigay or binigay ni Constitution ngayon, di ba? So yun yung Bill of Rights under Article 3 of Bill of Rights class. So yun yung tinatawag natin na Bill of Rights. Yun yung mga rights ng tinatawag natin na sa atin, yung set of rights granted by the Constitution, particularly the 1987 Constitution. Then of course, meron din tayong tinatawag class na rights of the accused. Ano yung tinatawag natin na rights of the accused class? Pakilagay nga sa comment section kung nakalimutan nyo ba o hindi. Okay, what is the rights of the accused? Yung pinakauna na lang muna. Yung pinakauna. Pag sinabi nating accused class, ibig sabihin sa loob ng korte yan. Okay, sa loob ng korte. So, anong tawag natin doon? Ayan, maraming nagkakamali dito. Okay, so dapat alam nyo presumption of innocence. Okay, very good. So, ayan. So, nakita ko talaga. So, sa Zoom, nakuha nila lahat or nakuha na nila yung formula, yung pinaka-proper or yung kayo na 100% tama yung sagot ninyo. Pag sinagot natin or pag tinanong sa board exam, what is the primary right of the accused? Pag sinabi natin accused class, ibig sabihin sa loob ng korte yan. So basically class, ang pinakauna niyang right is the presumption of innocence. Again, ulitin natin. Pag sinabi natin na the primary right of the accused class is the presumption of innocence. Ibig sabihin, he is presumed innocent until proven guilty otherwise, or is presumed innocent until proven guilty by the court of law. Kahit sabihin natin na ikaw yung nakakita na ng pagpatay or ikaw yung nakita mo talaga yung accused na yan, siya yung pumatay. Under the eyes of the law class, he is presumed innocent until proven guilty by the court of law. Again, ulitin natin. Pag sinabi natin the primary right of the accused, ibig sabihin sa loob ng korte yan, yung pinakaunang right niya class is the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty otherwise or until proven guilty by the court of law. Nakuha ba? Pag tinanong naman, what is the primary right of the suspect? Pag sinabi natin suspect class, that is under the police custody. Or suspect, minsan tinatawag rin natin yan na POI, di ba? Persons of interest. Okay, the POI. Pag tinanong naman sa board exam, what is the primary right of the suspect? Ang primary right of the suspect class is the right to remain silent. Okay, the right to remain silent. Of course, that is the primary right of the suspect naman. So pag sinabi natin primary right of the suspect, which is the right to remain silent, kasi again, tandaan niyo paulit-ulit, everything you said will be used against you in the court of law. Okay, nakuha? So ibig sabihin, lahat ng sasabihin mo ay maaring gamitin laban sa iyo sa loob ng hukuman or sa loob ng korte. Tandaan niyo palagi, kahit yung mga ano dito, kahit yung actually class, uh, dati yung mga ano rin, yung mga nasa service na nagkakamali rin sila minsan dito, di ba? Na interchange na yan. That is understandable naman. So pag sinabi nating primary right of the suspect, that is the right to remain silent kasi everything you said will be used against you in the court of law. Pag tanong naman, that is the primary right of the accused, ibig sabihin sa loob ng korte, ang pinakaunang right niya class is the presumption of innocence. Ibig sabihin, he is presumed innocent until proven guilty by the court of law. Okay, so yan yung ano natin, class. So ang code of ethics naman, class, of course, yung code of ethics, yun yung mga dapat i-portray ng isang public officer or employee, di ba? So yan yung mga code of ethics na meron tayo. So again, pag sinabi niya the recital of rights of a suspect during custodial investigation, ang tawag natin dyan, class, is the Miranda warning. Of course, pag sinabi niya, what are those rights? Ang tawag natin doon, Miranda rights, class. Okay? So I hope na nakuha niya na yung strategy on how to answer questions or criminology board question. There is di ba, a daig ng madiskarte ang matalino. Di ba? Kapag may technique ka on how to answer, okay, bakit gano'n? Yung iba nagtataka, sir, bakit siya, yung kaklase ko na isa, aral na aral siya, pero bakit bumagsak siya ng board exam? Yung isa naman, chill na lang, chill lang, pero pagdating sa application, ang galing niya. Yun, class. Ibig sabihin, technique ang pinairal niya. Tapos, of course, merong, ano yan, merong strategy, diba? Okay, so yan. So, tanong niyo, class, ulitin ko, pag sinabi nating Bill of Rights, Those are the set of rights of individual granted, of course, by our Constitution, particularly the 1987 Constitution. Ang Code of Ethics naman, of course, that is under Republic Act 6713, that is the Code of Ethics and Ethical Standards na meron tayo. So, yun yung mga dapat i-portray ng isang public officer or employee in performance of their duty. So, tandaan nyo class, na-explain natin kanina, the three pillars of the American criminal justice system. Tatlo yan, yung three pillars, LCC pa rin, the law enforcement, the courts, and correction. So, ang acronym yung natandaan nyo class palagi is LCC, the law enforcement, courts, and correction. That is the three pillars of the American criminal justice system kung saan nag-originate ngayon class ang PCGS or ang Philippine Criminal Justice System. Okay, so yan yung tinatawag natin class na three pillars of the criminal justice system. Then of course, sa Pilipinas class, we have the five components of the Philippine criminal justice system. Tandaan nyo, hindi natin ginagamit yung pillars ha. Okay, so hindi na natin ginagamit yung pillars. Ang ginagamit na natin ngayon class sa Pilipinas is components or elements of the criminal justice system. Kaya tinawag natin na components class kasi of course, kapag failure ng isang component, halimbawa, ng failure ng law enforcement, failure na yan lahat ng ating the remaining components. Okay? Kaya that's why class, ang five components of the criminal justice system, meron lang tayong lima. Okay? So that's why tinawag natin na components or elements. So dito, of course, ang una dyan, we have the police. Okay, so actually class police talaga ang pinakauna. Pero kapag halimbawa, wala si police sa choices, of course, common sense, ang isasagot ninyo or ang ilalagay niyo class or ang pipiliin niyo is law enforcement. Okay, so yan. Then pangalawa, of course, meron tayong tinatawag na prosecution. Kung sa American criminal justice system, wala silang ngayong tinatawag na prosecution. Dito sa Pilipinas, meron tayong prosecution. Okay. Okay, so yan yung tinatawag natin na prosecution. Then ang courts naman, okay, ang courts naman yan yung pangatlo, di ba? Then of course, meron tayong tinatawag na corrections and of course, meron tayong tinatawag na community. So that is the five components of the Philippine criminal justice system. The 2P, C3, di ba? Dalawang P class, tatlong C. Kaya that's why we have the police, prosecution, courts, corrections, and the community. So wait lang, nalobat ako class. I-charge mo na yung laptop. So again, ulitin natin. So we have in the Philippines, we have the five components of the PCGS na meron tayo. So we have the police, prosecution, courts, corrections, and of course, the community. So ang palagi natandaan class, yung 2P, 3C or C3. Okay, kasi tatlong C, dalawang P. Okay, so yan yung components ng ating PCGS or the Philippine Criminal Justice System. Okay, so yan. Okay, so of course, we have the five stages in the criminal justice process. Iba yung tinatawag natin class na components o tinatawag natin na stages. Of course, magsa-start palagi yan sa arrest. Of course, pag sinabi natin arrest, that is the taking of person into custody of law, di ba? Para makuha natin ang custody over that person. Ang tawag natin dyan, that is an arrest. Pangalawa, of course, charging. So, of course, class, by charging him in the proper court, sino ba ang nag-prepare for information na ipafile sa korte? Of course, the prosecutor, tama? Then, of course, pangatlo, we have adjudication. So, adjudication class, of course, that is the judgment na ngayon, whether the person is guilty or not guilty of the crime. So, again, tandaan nyo, pag sinabi nating adjudication class, that is the judgment. Okay, hindi po decision. Okay, adjudication, that is the judgment or adjudication of the court whether the person is guilty or not guilty of the crime. Then pag sinabi nating sentencing, okay, kapag guilty na siya, so you will be punished. Okay, so i-sentence kung ano yung particular penalty na commit niya. Then pupunta na siya ngayon sa correction to serve the sentence. Okay, yan ang tinatawag natin class na 5 stages in the criminal justice process. Iba yung ano natin Iba yung 5 components sa 5 stages under the criminal justice process. Okay, nakuha ba? Nakuha na class? Nakuha na ba? Okay, so again, ulitin natin ang 5 stages natin in criminal justice process. Mauna palagi si arrest, charging, adjudication, sentencing, and corrections. Okay, yan yung 5 stages in the criminal justice process. Then, of course, we have the 5 components of the PCGS. Isa-isahin natin to. Pag sinabi nating police, of course, that is the police or law enforcement minsan. That is the first component of the PCGS class, the first component. So, tandaan nyo class, pag sinabi nating police, of course, that is the initiator or it is the prime mover of the criminal justice system. Again, ulitin natin, pag sinabi nating police, that is the initiator or the prime mover of the CGS. Hindi gagalaw ang ating CGS class without the, of course, si police talaga, di ba, ang magkakandak ng arrest. Okay, so that's why class tinawag siya na initiator, prime mover, or minsan tinatawag natin na frontliner of the Philippine criminal justice system. Then, tandaan nyo class, meron tayong tinatawag na police initiating action. Kaya tinawag sila na initiator. Una dyan, effecting an arrest. Of course, sila, yung mga arresting officer natin, ang magkandak ngayon ng arrest class to, para makuha natin ang custody over that person. Pangalawa naman, of course, nagkakandak sila ng surveillance. Then, crime investigation. Yan yung mga tatlo effecting an arrest, surveillance, and crime investigation. So yan mga trabaho class ngayon ng mga police natin or the law enforcement natin. Okay, effecting an arrest, surveillance, and crime investigation. Then, tanda nyo class, ang pinaka-primary duty ng police natin. Una dyan, we have the prevention of crime. So, in the prevention of crime class, tandaan nyo, pag piniprevent natin ang crime or the prevention of crime, ang sinastop natin dito is to prevent the root causes. Ibig sabihin, we will determine first kung ano ba talaga or saan ba talaga nagsimula or saan ano ba ang pinagmulan ng crime na yan. Pangalawa, repression or suppression of crime. So in the repression or suppression of crime, ang eliminate natin class or ang nire-reduce natin dyan is the opportunity of committing a crime. Ibig sabihin, kasi di ba under the crime triangle, meron tayong tinatawag na MOI, di ba? MOI. So we have the motive, opportunity, and instrumentality. So yung sa MOI class, sa motive, opportunity, and instrumentality, ang pinaka-importante dyan na ma-eliminate natin is the opportunity. Okay, opportunity class. Paano natin makuha yung opportunity or paano natin ma-eliminate ang opportunity? Of course, with the presence of the law enforcement officers in place. So yan yung repression or suppression of crime. Then, of course, apprehension of offenders. So sa apprehension of offenders, that is arresting of offenders, of course, diba? Through actual restraint. So that's why we have the, yan yung pinaka top 3 na trabaho ng police natin class to prevent the crime. Basically to prevent the root causes, ano yung pinagmulan. Then we have repression or suppression of crime to reduce the opportunity of committing a crime. Then apprehension of offenders, basically to arrest the offenders. Okay, so yeah. Then of course, summon the aid of SOCO. So kapag ano natin sila or magbibigay sila ng assistance, okay, sa SOCO natin. Then ang inquest with prosecution. So, pwede silang mag-inquest, okay? Or sila, pwede yung papatawagin sila or itatawag sila class to inquest. Pag sinabi natin inquest class or inquest proceeding, para mas maintindihan ninyo, ganito lang yan. Pag sinabi natin inquest proceeding or inquest, it is the proceeding in court wherein i-determine ngayon yung whether the arrest is valid or legal. Okay, for those person arrested without the benefit of warrant of arrest. Kasi di ba general rule, kapag inaresto natin yung tao, dapat meron tayong warrant of arrest na dala. Pero halimbawa, nagkataon na pasok doon sa tinatawag natin na in flagrante delicto, hide pursuit operation, and escapee. Okay, of course, di ba, yun yung mga warrantless arrest na tinatawag natin. So magkakaroon ng inquest proceeding class or magkakaroon ng inquest. Tama yun, sir, ano? So pag sinabi kasi natin inquest, that is to determine lang the validity or legality of arrest for those person arrested without the benefit of warrant of arrest. Ibig sabihin, yung mga na-aresto na walang warrant of arrest during the time of arrest. So of course, yung police officer class na nag-aresto, pupunta yan ngayon sa prosecutor or manunumpa doon na of course, sinasabi niya that the arrest is valid or legal. So, ganun lang kasimple yun. Tama ba? Ulitin natin. Kapag sinabi natin inquest proceeding or inquest class, of course, that is a process wherein ang pinaka-purpose ng class is to determine whether or not the arrest is valid or legal. Okay? So, kasi nga, ang inquest class that is only intended for those person arrested without the benefit of warrant of arrest. Ibig sabihin, na-aresto sila na walang dalang warrant of arrest ang arresting officer during the time. So, ang trabaho ngayon ni prosecutor is to determine kung valid or legal ba ang pag-aresto. Kapag hindi valid, of course, class, i-release ngayon ang tao na yon. Okay? So, ganun lang ka-importante, class, or ganun ka-basic ang inquest proceeding. Again, pag sinabi natin inquest, that is to determine the validity or legality of arrest for those person arrested without the benefit of warrant of arrest. Yan yung tinatawag natin, class, na inquest proceeding or inquest with the prosecution. Then of course, class, tandaan nyo palagi, ang police, trabaho rin nila to testify in court. So palagi kong sinasabi, di ba, we have two parties. We have the defense and we have the defense party representing the accused, the prosecution party representing the victim or representing the government. So tandaan nyo palagi, class, wala tayong police or walang police class na magte-testify in favor of the accused. Kapag nagte-testify sila sa korte, always magte-testify sila in favor of the prosecution or in favor of the victim. Naka ba? Ulitin natin. Ang police officer natin, class, or ang mga police officer natin, always they will testify in favor of the government or in favor of the victim. So, ganun yung general rule natin under the court testimony. So, yun. They will testify in court in favor of the government. Then of course, meron na silang karapatan or power rin nila to conduct search and seizure. So again, we already discussed yung search and seizure sa criminal procedure. Of course, ang purpose ng search warrant is makuha yung personal property specified on the search warrant. So dapat madala yon para makuha rin yung custody. Kasi hindi lang naman sa tao, yung sa pag-aresto ang nakukuha ang custody. Nakukuha rin ang custody doon, guys, sa mga personal property or sa mga bagay. Pero of course, class, dapat kung ano lang nakalagay doon, yun ang kukunon unless na lang in the presence of plain view doctrine. Okay? So, yun yung tinatawag natin na conduct, search, and seizure. Okay? Then of course, investigation of the crime and protection of lives and property. Yan yung trabaho ngayon ni police officer. So, huwag kayong magtaka, bakit yung mga discussion under the criminal procedure na uulit dito sa PCGS. Kasi of course, class, it is a part of the subject mismo. So, mas maganda yon, di ba? Repetition is the mother of all learning. So, pag sinabi natin arrest, class, tandaan nyo lang palagi, it is the taking of person. Yung one word na taking, yun tandaan nyo, it is the taking of person into custody of law. Okay? Of course, ang purpose niyan para makuha natin yung custody over that person. Then ang warrant of arrest, of course, it is an order in writing in the name of the people of the Philippines. Tandaan nyo, class, people of the Philippines is the real offended party. Kaya, di ba, bakit hindi na lang ilagay ang pangalan ng biktima or pangalan ng victim doon sa tinatawag natin, class, na complaint or information or ano natin. Kasi nga, si people of the Philippines is the real offended party. Kung may nag-commit na crime sa Pilipinas, class, it directly affects us all. Ibig sabihin, naapektuhan tayong lahat. That's why, ang people of the Philippines is the ROP or the real offended party, class. Tandaan nyo, real offended party kasi whatever crimes happen in the Philippines or in our country, it directly affects all. Lahat tayo na apektuhan. That's why ang kalaban mo ngayon is the people of the Philippines. Kaya hindi talaga directly ilalagay. Kaya huwag kayong magtaka, bakit hindi na lang ilagay Cardo Dalisay versus Cardo, 'di ba? Bakit hindi na lang ilagay na ganun? Ang nilagay Cardo Dalisay versus people of the Philippines or people of the Philippines versus Cardo Dalisay and so on. So kasi ang people of the Philippines is the real offended party. Ang warrant of arrest, of course, design yan dapat ni judge then directed to a peace officer commanding him to arrest a person or persons stated therein and deliver them before the court. Kaya class, huwag kayo pumasok or huwag kayo sasama sa pulisa or sa arresting officer kapag hindi naman ikaw yung nakalagay doon sa warrant of arrest. Kapag mali ang spelling, hindi pa rin yun ikaw. Dapat i-check mo muna kung ikaw ba talaga yung nakalagay doon sa tinatawag natin na warrant of arrest. Kasi that is basically, kasi again, tandaan nyo, under the warrant of arrest or under the search warrant, dapat specific. Kasi general warrant is not allowed. Under the warrant of arrest, dapat specifically na-identify or specifically nalagay ang pangalan. Same as to sa search warrant, specifically dapat nalagay kung ano lang yung kukunin natin. Okay, so yan yung warrant of arrest. Then of course, meron tayo ditong tinatawag na lifespan of warrant of arrest. Again, class, as a review, what is the lifespan of warrant of arrest? Pakilagay sa comment section. Okay, lifespan ang tinatawag natin. Okay, very good. Ang sagot natin dyan, that is lifetime. Nakuha ba ninyo? Again, ulitin natin. Magkaiba ang lifespan sa tinatawag natin class na execution. Lifetime class. Okay, pangalawa, ano naman ang tinatawag natin class na execution of warrant of arrest? Okay, again, ano naman ang execution ng warrant of arrest? Okay, halimbawa class, pagdating sa board exam, ganito pa pala. Dapat yung tandaan. Pagdating sa board exam, one season ata or one time, tanong sa board exam, ano yung lifespan of warrant of arrest? Nakalagay doon, 10 days, 20 days, hindi nalagay class ang lifetime. Ang nalagay nila na word doon is no fixed duration. Ang isagot na doon class is the no fixed duration. Nakuha ba? Kasi nga, that is equivalent also to lifetime. Nakuha ba ninyo? Pagdating sa board exam class, use your common sense. Kasi kapag, sir, hindi ko sinagot ko doon is 10 days kasi hindi ko nakita si lifetime. Pero sa choices, sir, nandun si no fixed duration. Sabi ko, bakit hindi mo sinagot si no fixed duration? Ibig sabihin nun, lifetime. Nakuha ba ninyo? Ganon class pagdating sa board exam, pairali ninyo ang common sense ninyo. Nakuha ba? So walang room for ano yon. Dapat common sense. Bakit wala na sa choices si lifetime? Nandun si no fixed duration. Iyon yung sagot, di ba? So dapat isipin ko, no fixed duration, ibig sabihin lifetime to. Kaya certain days yung sinagot ko doon sa lifespan of warrant of arrest kasi wala yung lifetime na word. Okay, mali yan ka. Pagdating sa board exam, always pairalin ang common sense. Okay, so yan, lifespan of warrant of arrest, lifetime. Okay, so yan yung palagi nyong tandaan class. Okay, ang execution naman, okay, so pag sinabi ng execution of warrant of arrest, of course, that is what we call the, okay, that is what we call class, within 10 days from its receipt. Okay, so 10 days from its receipt. So 10 days class. So nakuha ba? Nakuha ninyo? So, okay, so alias warrant. Okay, so ganito class. Magkaiba yung tinatawag natin na lifespan ng warrant of arrest sa execution ng warrant of arrest. Tandaan nyo class, ang execution dapat ma-execute na yan ng arresting officer within 10 days from its receipt. Pero halimbawa class, nagkataon naman ngayon na hindi siya na-aresto ng arresting officer within 10 days period na sinabi ng korte. Pupunta lang ngayon ang arresting officer class sa judge, mag-justify bakit hindi niya na-aresto yung tao na yon. Yung warrant of arrest na yon class, it will serve as a standing warrant. Ibig sabihin, it is an alias warrant na class. Ibig sabihin, lifetime na or no fixed duration na yung magiging ang kanyang lifetime or validity niya. So again, nakuha natin, within 10 days, kung hindi niya nahuli, pupunta na siya ngayon kay judge or mag-justify siya doon bakit hindi niya nahuli yung tao na yon. Then, yung warrant of arrest na dala niya, it will serve as a standing warrant or tinatawag natin na alias warrant. Ibig sabihin, lifetime na yun class or no fixed duration or it is valid forever or lifetime. Nakuha ba ninyo? Nakuha ninyo class? Ganun lang kasimple So, kaya tandaan nyo, lifespan ba ang itanong or validity? Ang validity of warrant of arrest class, that is lifetime or there's no fixed duration. Ang execution of warrant of arrest within 10 days from its receipt. Nakuha ba? Nakuha ninyo?
Yes, coach.
Okay, so yan. Ganun ka simple ka. So okay, so yan. Then, of course, yung mga crimes that may be committed by police officer while conducting an arrest. Okay, so we have the crimes that may be committed by person while conducting an arrest. Of course, class, we have the delay on the delivery of detained person to the proper judicial authority. Ano yung sunod-sunod natin, good class? Dito sa may ano, tinatawag natin na delay in the delivery of detained person to the proper judicial authorities. Of course, class, we have following or yung tinatawag natin na reglementary period, tama, yung 12-18-36. Ibig sabihin, dapat walang delays, no? Pero kapag justified naman class, nung inaresto mo siya, nagkaroon ng tsunami or nagkaroon ng flooding, tapos na-trap kayo sa island, of course, that is justified. So again, tandaan nyo, within reglementary period, dapat ma-turn over mo na yung person na yon to the proper judicial authorities. Then kapag unlawful arrest, of course, yan yung posible rin na ano, halimbawa, walang legal grounds or walang court order. Okay, hindi naman siya gumawa ng krimen. So wala talagang basis class, basta-basta mo na lang inaresto. So that is unlawful arrest. Or the person arresting or the person conducting an arrest has no authority to conduct an arrest. Okay. Then of course, expulsion. Of course, class, ang expulsion naman class, that is the halimbawa, you expel someone, you're a police officer or a public officer, you compel someone to change the residence or paalisin mo sa lugar na yon without the court order or without the valid reason or without the legal grounds. So that is expulsion class. Okay? Kapag private officer naman ang nagpaalis sa iyo class, that is grave coercion. Okay? So yan class. So, yan, tandaan nyo ha. Pero of course, ang search warrant naman is, of course, ang purpose niyan is to identify yung personal property naman at dalhin sa loob ng korte. Search is to look into and seizure naman to take. Okay, kailan naman sineserve ngayong class? So, balikan natin. When to serve yung tinatawag natin na warrant of arrest? Kailan siya sineserve class? Kailan sineserve ang warrant of arrest? Pakilagay sa comment section. In class, kailan natin siniserve ang warrant of arrest? Okay, so very good. So, tandaan nyo class, siniserve natin ang warrant of arrest any time of the day or night. Again, ulitin natin. Ang warrant of arrest, siniserve natin yan any time of the day or night. Ibig sabihin kahit Sunday yan, kahit holiday, kahit birthday, wala tayong pakialam. Kasi ang warrant of arrest, siniserve natin yan any time of the day or night. Nakuha ba? So yan yung tinatawag natin na warrant of arrest. Even on Sunday, even on holiday, okay, wala pakialam. Okay, hindi mo naman pwede sabihin, ay, balik ka na lang bukas kasi birthday ko ngayon. Ay, wag mo na muna ako arestuhin kasi holiday ngayon. So dapat pahinga muna kayo. That is wrong. Kasi under the law, the execution of warrant of arrest is any time of the day or night. Okay. So how about naman class, we will move on the search warrant. Kailan naman sineserve ngayon ang search warrant? Okay, again. Kailan naman ngayon sineserve ang search warrant? Kailan sineserve ang search warrant class? Okay, sineserve natin ang search warrant class. General rule natin meron tayong general rule, meron din tayong exemption to the rule. Tandaan nyo, when to serve search warrant, that is daytime. Okay, daytime, general rule. Pero pwede ba sir, or may pagkakataon ba na i-serve ang search warrant during nighttime? Of course, class, posibleng i-serve ang search warrant during nighttime kapag halimbawa nakita ni judge na hindi available or hindi makukuha or hindi available yung bagay na kukunin, so it will be served during during nighttime. Okay, so that is when to serve the search warrant, pero general rule, that is what we call daytime. Okay, so yan. Okay, so yes, tama yon. Ibig sabihin, may exemption lang kapag available yung bagay na kukunin or mas effective or makukuha or successful, makita ni judge na mas successful na makuha yung mga bagay na yun during nighttime. So that's the time na pwedeng makuha. Okay? Daytime only. O, di ba nga ngayon class? yung mga students ko ngayon, mag-o-taking na, yung iba natapos ng o-taking. So soon, kayo na rin ang mag-o-taking. So dapat sacrifice, no? Sacrifice, so, di ba? Ako nga nagsasacrifice na magturo sa inyo, kahit sa akong lugar nakapunta, nag-lecture pa rin ako. Para ano ka talaga, mag-guide ko talaga kayo. Actually, nandiyan naman lahat ng mga video ko, pero gusto ko, 'di ba? Gusto ko talaga na on the spot na nakaka-relate kayo sa akin. Nagpapalitan tayo ng ano, 'di ba? Ng tawag nito, ng ideas. Makorek ko kayo and so on. Iba talaga yung actual kahit nasa ano tayo. Para nag-uusap, 'di ba? So, tanong niyo, okay, dito ngayon class, what is the lifespan of search warrant dito? Okay, what is lifespan of the search warrant? Or what is the validity of search warrant class? Okay, so again, what is the lifespan of search warrant? Ilang days ang lifespan? Okay, so again, hindi po no fixed duration pag sinabi nating search warrant. Ang validity class ng search warrant is only 10 days. Okay, again, 10 days lang ang validity ng search warrant. Okay, so from its date. Okay, ulitin natin. Ang lifespan or validity ng search warrant class, that is only 10 days. Okay, from its date. Okay, 10 days from its date ang validity ng search warrant class. Okay, anong mangyayari ngayon sa search warrant kapag within 10 days from its date of its release? Okay, so anong mangyayari class kapag halimbawa hindi pa nakuha yung mga bagay or yung mga personal property na ka-state doon sa search warrant? Anong mangyayari? Okay, anong mangyayari class kapag hindi pa? Okay, so again, if you study to remember, you forget. But if you study to understand, you remember. Tama yan. Okay. Very good. Tama class, di ba? If you study to understand, you understand the concept, you understand the principle, kahit anong itanong nila sa board exam class, hindi ka magkakamali doon. Pero kapag for compliance lang ang ginagawa ninyo, may time talaga na malilito kayo class. Dapat you dwell more, dapat mas deep ang understanding ninyo class or mas deep ang ano natin. Okay, so ayan. Ano mangyayari pag after 10 days? Okay, so tandaan nyo class, it is considered void. Ang ginamit doon na term under criminal procedure is void class. Okay, hindi yun expired void. Of course, expired rin ang another term for void. Pero ang kasi sa board exam class, very proper sila. Proper term ang hinahanap nila. Pag sinabi natin within 10 days from its date, tapos hindi pa nakukuha, it is considered void. Okay? So again, ulit natin, within 10 days from its date, it is considered void na class. Ibig sabihin, anong mangyayari doon kapag void na yung search warrant? Kukuha ka na naman ulit kapag hindi mo nakuha yung mga bagay na nakastate doon under the search warrant. So ganito ang tandaan nyo palagi class. Pag sinabi nating search warrant, ito lang tandaan nyo, ang validity niya at ang kanyang execution ay parehas yan. Okay, so ulitin natin. Pag sinabi nating search warrant, parehas lang ang kanyang validity at ang kanyang execution. 10 days. Nakuha ba? Unlike sa warrant of arrest, iba yan. Ang validity ng warrant of arrest is lifetime or no fixed duration. Ang execution niya, 10 days. Pero sa search warrant class, isa lang yan sila. Ang lifespan niya or validity niya and execution, 10 days yan. Naintindihan ninyo? Ulitin ko. Pag sinabi nating warrant of arrest, ang kanyang validity is lifetime or no fixed duration. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng alias warrant, diba, or standing warrant. Ang kanyang execution, 10 days. Kapag hindi niya na-arresto within 10 days, pupunta lang siya ngayon class sa arresting sa judge na mag-justify bakit hindi niya na-arresto at ang warrant of arrest na dala niya, it will serve as a standing warrant or alias warrant. Ibig sabihin, lifetime na ang validity noon. Validity ng warrant of arrest na yon. Ibig sabihin, anytime kapag nandyan yung arrest doon, arestuhin, ibig sabihin, hindi na kailangan pa kumuha ulit ng warrant of arrest. Kasi nga, ang validity nito is lifetime na. Pagdating naman sa search warrant class, ang validity or lifespan at ang kanyang execution ay isa lang. within 10 days from its date. So, ibig sabihin, 10 days lang class. Kapag after 10 days hindi nakuha, that is considered void or sinasabi natin na yung alam nyo palagi, expired. Pero ang pinaka-proper term doon class, legal term natin ginagawa or na sinusunod natin is void. So that is ang lifespan of search warrant and execution within 10 days from its date. Tandaan nyo, kailan sineserve ang warrant of arrest? Any time of the day or night. Ibig sabihin, kahit holiday yan, kahit Sunday, wala tayong pakialam. Night and day or night. While ang search warrant naman, sineserve lang natin dyan general rule during daytime. Kailan naman magiging nighttime, that is an exception to the rule when the things to be seized is only available during nighttime. So that's the time class na pwedeng makuha or pwedeng ma-serve ang search warrant during nighttime. Pero general rule class, ang search warrant class, kukunin natin yan o isa-serve natin during daytime. Okay? Nakuha ba? Naintindihan nyo na ngayon? So, ganun kasimple class ha. Don't be confused. Dapat lahat ng inaaral ninyo, ano nyo yan, damdamin ninyo or kumbaga isa puso. Okay? Hindi lang yung for compliance or hindi lang yung ano niyo. Kasi pagdating sa boarding exam class, kapag hindi deep masyado ang ano mo, ang nalaman mo, pagdating sa boarding exam, medyo shaky ka doon. Ibig sabihin, konting twist lang ng question, medyo magkakaroon ka na ngayon ng ano, magkakaroon ka na ngayon ng magkakaroon ka na ng confusion. Then of course, yung iba, 'di ba, palagi nating tandaan na dapat specific. Ang general warrant class is not allowed under the law. Dapat specifically naka-identify or naka-specify kung ano yung kukunin under search warrant at under the warrant of arrest, naka-specific class kung sino yung arrestuhin. Bawal po ang tinatawag natin na John Doe warrant. Ang John Doe warrant kasi is the identity of the person to be arrested is unknown. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo pa nakilala or hindi mo pa naalala or hindi mo pa identify totally kung sino yung aarestuhin. Diba? John Doe warrant. Ang John Doe, lalaki yan. Ibig sabihin lalaki na hindi pa na-identify kung sino. Ang Jane Doe naman is babae yan na hindi pa na-identify kung sino. So alias warrant, hindi yan alias warrant. Ang tawag natin doon is John Doe warrant or Jane Doe warrant. Is it allowed? Of course, under the law, hindi po yan ina-allowed ng korte natin. Okay? Nakuha ba? Nakuha niyo class? So yan, dito tayo. So I hope na clear na yan. So what is the main goal of criminal justice system? Okay, again, what is the main goal of the criminal justice system? Mag-i-end tayo ng 8 class ano natin, wala naman tayong break. Okay, so yan. So again, what is the main goal of our criminal justice system? Is it crime suppression? Is it crime prevention? Is it crime preventing criminals? Or it is a crime repression? Okay. So yeah, what is the main goal of criminal justice system? Okay, so what is the main goal? Okay, iba-iba ang sagot. May crime suppression, prevention, A, B, C, and D. Okay, yan, crime prevention. Okay, so let's try to identify. Okay, ang sagot natin dyan, class, that is letter B, crime prevention. So again, ang sagot natin dyan is crime prevention. That is letter B, crime prevention. Okay, so crime prevention, bakit saan natin kinuha class ang sagot natin? Of course, hindi tayo pwedeng sumagot without the without the what we call the basis, tama? So we have the police rules and functions in the society. So basically, class, the role of the police in society is crime prevention, which is the main goal also of the criminal justice system. Again, ulitin natin. Ang role of the police in society is crime prevention, which is considered also class as the main goal of the criminal justice system. Okay, ulitin natin. The main goal of the CGS is also the main role of a police in our society, which is crime prevention class. Kung nakita ninyo sa choices, lahat naman sila possible na nasagot, di ba? Pero of course, pagdating sa board exam, hindi naman natin pwedeng i-ano, di ba? Hindi naman natin pwedeng i-assume unless, tama yan, sinabi from our from our Sergeant, Sir Label. So crime prevention is the main role of police. Ibig sabihin, as much as possible, piniprevent na natin na mangyari or mag-occur yung crime sa ating community so, or sa ating society. That's why, tandaan niyo palagi, the role of the police in the society is crime prevention, which is also the main goal of the criminal justice system. Nakuha? So that is the police rules and functions in the society. Okay, so of course, class, we have under the criminal investigation. So huwag kayong magtaka bakit napasok sa criminal investigation dito. Kasi it is a CGF. Lahat ng forms ma-ano natin, ma-identify or ma-discuss natin. Of course, under the criminal investigation, tandaan nyo lang yung ILP, of course, to identify, to locate, and provide the evidence of the guilt of the person in the criminal proceeding. So alam na alam nyo yan. So pag sinabi natin admission class, palagi yung tandaan, admission, nakafocus yan sa facts. Is it acknowledgement of facts or acknowledgement or statement of facts? That is what we call admission. Pag sinabi naman natin confession, of course, that is the acknowledgement of guilt or statement of guilt. So yun ang kaibahan nilang dalawa. Okay, so tandaan nyo class, we have the three tools of investigation. Marami pa rin nagkakamali dito. So palagi nyo pagtandaan class, ang interview, that is only applicable sa witness na tinatawag natin. Ang interrogation naman, suspect. Kasi marami nagkakamali pagdating sa board exam. Gitwist lang konti, na iba na yung sagot nila. Then ang instrumentation, that is by the use of forensic sciences or criminalistic science in identifying the crime. Then eyes of investigation class, of course, we have interview, interrogation, and instrumentation. Then, of course, we have the information. Tandaan nyo, ang information class is the bloodline or the bloodline of investigation. Okay, so of course, ang investigation, nakafocus yan sa systematic study of facts concerning a crime. So nanggaling yan sa term na investigare. Tandaan nyo, nanggaling yan sa term na investigare, which means to trace or to locate. So sino ngayon ang tinetrace natin or nilolocate class under the investigation? Of course, that is what we call the suspect, okay, or known today as the persons of interest or the POI. Nakuha nyo? Again, ang tinetrace natin or nilolocate natin is the suspect or that is known today as the persons of interest or the POI. Okay, next tayo. Then of course, ang crime investigation class, that is, tandaan nyo lang palagi na acronym natin dyan is the GOF. Okay, ano yung GOF na yun? Ibig sabihin, that is the gathering of facts concerning the commission of the crime. Yan yung tinatawag natin class na crime investigation. Again, gathering of facts concerning the commission of the crime, that is crime investigation. Okay, nakuha? So, yan. Okay, dito tayo class. So, it means that a crime was actually perpetrated. So, again, it means that a crime was actually perpetrated. Letter A, proof. Letter B, evidence. Letter C, physical evidence. And letter D, corpus delicti. Okay, what is your answer? Okay, it means that the crime was actually perpetrated or was actually perpetrated or happened. Okay, what is your answer? Okay, very good. So ang sagot natin dyan, that is letter D. Okay, that is corpus delicti. Pag sinabi niya, it means, ibig sabihin, it means that the crime was actually perpetrated or was actually happened. So ang sagot natin dyan, class, that is letter D, corpus delicti. Kasi ang tinatawag natin na proof, okay, that is the result of the evidence. Again, pag sinabi natin proof, class, that is the result of the evidence. Ang evidence naman, of course, that is the means sanctioned by the rules of court or by the rules of evidence or criminal evidence. Then, pag sinabi natin physical evidence, of course, that is any object or materials that is found in the crime scene or in the locus criminis. Okay? So, yan yung tinatawag natin class na physical evidence. Tandaan nyo, pag sinabi natin corpus delicti, ibig sabihin yan, literally class, literal ibig sabihin word by word, ibig sabihin yan, body of the crime. Okay? So, tandaan nyo, word by word, that is body of the crime. Pag sinabi naman natin, ano yung definition niya, ano yung legal definition niya, It proves that a crime exists. Okay, again, it proves that a crime exists. Nakuha ba? Ulitin natin, literally, ang corpus delicti, that is body of the crime, ang ibig sabihin niyan, or ang meaning niya talaga it proves that a crime exists. Nakuha ba? Nakuha niyo class? So, yun yung tinatawag natin na corpus.
Yes po.
Sige, let's proceed now on the next slide, guys. Hmm. Okay, of course, class, tandaan nyo, under the investigation, we have the MAC principle. So, ang MAC principle, class, yung MAC, that stands for never move, alter, or cut. Ibig sabihin, never move, alter, or cut any physical evidence unless it is photographed, sketched, and measured before the crime scene can be searched. Kasi yan yung pinaka-MAC principle natin, okay? Or yung golden rule natin, never move, alter, or cut any physical evidence unless it is photographed, sketched, and measured before the crime scene can be searched. Okay, yan yung MAC principle natin, class. Na ano yun na yan, di ba, na nakita nyo na yan sa YouTube natin or sa mga ano ay sa Telegram natin yung mga videos na yan. Na discuss ko na rin yan sa CDI. So ayan. So of course class, we have the constitutional requirements na tinatawag natin. Of course under section 12, article 3 natin class. Any person under investigation for the commission of offense shall have the right to be informed of his right to remain silent. Of course, that is the primary right of the suspect for the persons of interest, and to have a competent and independent counsel, preferably of his own choice. Ibig sabihin, kapag may sarili silang or may personal or merong family lawyer sila, kung tingin nila mas naipagtatanggol sila noon, so be it. Pero kapag they have no capacity to have a counsel or to have own lawyer, so hindi po tayong tatawag, hindi natin pwedeng ano yun, ano yun, ibaliwala ng government or ng state. Bibigyan sila ng agad-agad. Of course, magagaling yan sa PAO, sa Public Attorney's Office, that when they cannot or in their own capacity, they cannot provide their own counsel. Okay, so that's why bibigyan sila ng government plan. So, of course, tandaan niyo, there is no torture, force, or violence, or threat, or intimidation class, or secret detention of places, or solitary incommunicado kapag yung ginagawa natin class, lalo-lalo na sa mga prisoners natin or sa mga offender natin. Then, any confession or admission obtained in violation of the section or section 17 shall be inadmissible in evidence against him kapag hindi siya na-inform of his rights, hindi siya hindi na na-recite yung Miranda rights niya class under the Constitution natin. Tandaan nyo class, under section 17, no person shall be compelled to be a witness against himself. Of course, class, di ba, sino ba naman yung tanga na ba na kalabanin ng sarili niya or mag-testify laban sa kanya or mahamang sarili niya. That's why you have the right to remain silent. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, kasi lahat ng sasabihin mo or maaring lumabas sa bibig mo para sa maaring gamitin laban sa iyo sa loob ng korte. Okay. So, ang police discretion in relation to the administration of CGS class as defined by Kenneth Cobb Davis. Pag sinabi natin discretion, of course, that is means the freedom to make a choice among possible courses of action. Again, ulitin natin. Pag sinabi natin police discretion, it is defined by Kenneth Cobb Davis that the freedom to make a choice among possible courses of action. So that is police discretion, or that is the ability to use one's wise judgment. Okay, yan yung tinatawag natin na discretion. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo, kapag pulis ka, of course, hindi mo na dapat hintayin pa yung order ng nasa taas. Di ba? Halimbawa, nasa bingit na ng kamatayan or nasa ang buhay ninyo, medyo delikado na. So, paparilin mo pa ba or hindi? Kasi hinihintay mo yung boss mo. Okay, hindi yan, class. Dapat alam mo to decide on specific situation. Kasi ang police discretion, That is the ability to distinguish, di ba? Yung discretion class, ibig sabihin, that is the ability to use one's wise judgment in relation to police service. Yan yung tinatawag natin class na police discretion. Of course, Article 16, Section 6 of the 1987 Constitution, dapat yan yung ma-memorize ng mga students before sila mag-take ng board exam. So again, sinabi niya, the state shall establish and maintain one police force. Ibig sabihin, isa lang class. Kaya yung sinasabi nila na magkakaroon sila ng separate police force, hindi mangyayari yan. Ang mangyayari lang yan kapag papalitan nila yung constitution. Kasi sinabi ng batas natin, there only one police force. Ibig sabihin, isa lang class, which shall be national in scope. Pag sinabi natin national in scope class, ibig sabihin, kapag pulis ka sa Pilipinas, ibig sabihin, pulis ka sa Luzon, pulis ka rin sa Visayas and Mindanao. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin, class, na pulis ka lang sa Luzon. Kasi again, sinabi ng Constitution, you're national in scope. Ibig sabihin, kahit saan ka pumunta, pulis ka pa rin. National in scope. Ibig sabihin, yung ano mo, yung lawak ng nasasakupan mo class is national in scope. Then of course, civilian in character. Okay, civilian in character class. Anong ibig sabihin ng civilian in character na to? Pag sinabi natin civilian in character, ibig sabihin, no part of the police service is military. Ibig sabihin, walang pwedeng makahalo kapag sa police service na part of the military. Kasi again, civilian in nature. Kaya 'di ba, ang pumapasok sa PNP dapat civilian. Ibig sabihin hindi nagka-wool or hindi naggaling sa ibang agency, lalo na sa Armed Forces of the Philippines. Kasi civilian in nature ang ginagamit natin dyan. Okay, civilian in character. To be administered and controlled by the National Police Commission on the NAPOLCOM. So tandaan nyo, pag sinabi natin National Police Commission or the NAPOLCOM, siya yung nagko-control or siya yung may tinatawag natin na administrative. Okay, tandaan nyo pag tanong sa board exam, sino yung may administrative control and supervision over the Philippine National Police? That is the NAPOLCOM or the National Police Commission. Then the authority of the local executives over the police units and their jurisdiction shall be provided by the law. Okay, so sino yung tinatawag natin class na local executive? Okay, sino yung tinatawag natin na local executives?
Mayor.
Okay, so ayan. So si local executive class, of course, the mayor and the governor. So ayan. Okay. So bakit maraming nakikita ko sa comment section sa Facebook, sa TikTok at sa YouTube? Nakaboses ko daw si Luis Manzano. Bakit? Okay, so yan. Okay, again, under Article 16, Section 6 of the 1987 Constitution class, the state shall establish and maintain one police force, isa lang class, which shall be national in scope and civilian in character to be administered by the NAPOLCOM, and ang may authority and power over the police units in their respective jurisdiction class, whether it is in city or municipality, that is the local executives or the mayor or the governor. Okay, Article 16, Section 6 of the 1987 Constitution. Okay. Bakit? Totoo naman, sir, kaboses mo. Okay, bakit naging kaboses ko so Luis naman? Hindi, kasi sa ano siguro yun, sa voice, yung pag-modulate. Kaya nagkaroon na ano. Kaya doon napapansin, ang daming comment doon sa TikTok, sa Facebook. Akala daw nila kapag pinikit na yung mata nila, yung nagsasalita daw si Luis Manzano. Hindi naman, hindi ko pa naman nakita na ano yung masyado yung boses. Pero hindi ko ginaya yun ito talaga yung natural na boses ko. Sige, next tayo. Okay, so of course class, dito tayo. So pakisagot muna. So what is the highest position of a police officer in the in the Philippine National Police hierarchy? Huwag kayong magtaka, it is a topic sa LEA. Pero bakit na-explain dito sa CGS, sir? Kasi again, nandyan ang police as one of the components. Dapat alam nyo, di ba? Okay, so again, what is the highest position of the police officer? Of course, alam na alam nyo na to, di ba? Kasi yung iba dito, third year, first year, alam na nila kasi nakikita nila sa mga videos ko yung mga ganitong sagutan, o, di ba? Na-amaze sila. So, yan. So, what is the highest position class in the police? Of course, very good. That is the Chief PNP. Okay, so Chief PNP ang sagot natin dito, class. So, that is Chief PNP. Kapag sinabi natin the highest rank in the police service, of course, that is the Police General. May nagtanong sa akin, Sir, si Police General ba si Chief PNP magkaibang isang tao yan or magkaibang tao yan? Of course, isang tao yan. Nagkataon lang, ang Chief PNP, that is his position, while ang Police General naman, yan yung kanyang rank. Okay? So, tandaan nyo, yan yung, okay, so yan yung tinatawag natin na Police General, o, di ba? Ang Police General, that is the highest rank. Ang Chief PNP naman, that is the highest position in the Chief PNP. Take note kasi yung record-breaking, yung student ko last season under the criminal law sa Davao City, ang nakuha niyang average class sa criminal law is 97%. Okay, parang siya yung record sa PRC, no, na nakuha ng ganong highest average sa criminal law. Then, of course, proud na proud ako kasi ako yung nag-criminal law sa kanila from book 1 hanggang class 4 testimony nung review nila, tapos inulit ko na naman during final coaching. Ang nakuha niya, class, is 97% na average sa criminal law. So that's why, class, dapat kayo malampasan niyo yun, yung 97% na nakuha ng student ko last for exam. Magte-take out na siya. Hindi ko alam na nung last lang na siya nagsabi na, sir, na 97% ang average ko sa law. Diba? So, of course, proud product ko yun kasi ako talaga yung nag-criminal law sa nila from book 1 hanggang natapos na lang criminal law during sa review season nila. Then sa inyo, walang reason na kung bakit hindi nyo may pasa ang criminal law. Yung iba nga, nagbe-base lang doon sa YouTube natin, doon nila na mas naintindihan ang criminal law sa explanation natin. So sa inyo, nandyan na yan, yung previous lecture ko, tapos ngayon, ulit-ulitin ninyo kasi hindi talaga malabo na gano'n kataas yung mga areas. Okay, so yan. Then, of course, class, tandaan nyo, class, we have the CAOC, the PNP organization, hierarchy or structure natin. So, ang mauna, CAOC class, una yung letter C that stands for Chief PNP, followed by admin, followed by operation, and of course, the Chief of Directorial Staff. Tandaan nyo, class, si Chief PNP, that is the first in command. Ang Chief for Administration natin is the second in command. Ang Deputy Chief for Operation, third in command, and Chief of Directorial Staff naman, class, is the fourth in command in the PNP organization. So, kaya KAO, class. First, PNP, admin, second, operation, third in command, and fourth in command is the Chief of Directorial Staff. Okay, that is under the PNP organization. Okay, nakuha ba? Okay. So, of course, class, dito tayo mag-i-end sa prosecution. Para yung tatlo, babalikan natin doon, tapusin natin. Okay, so pag sinabi natin prosecution, class, that is the second component of our Philippine criminal justice system. Tandaan niyo palagi, class, pag sinabi natin prosecution, that is the guardian of law. So, of course, ang prosecution, that is the component of the CGS, simply means a criminal action. Ibig sabihin, siya yung magpa-file ngayon, class, ng information sa korte kapag nakitaan niya that there is a probable cause. So again, ulitin ko, pag sinabi natin inquest proceeding, of course, it is done by the inquest prosecutor, class, to determine the validity of arrest, to determine the validity or legality of arrest for those person arrested without the benefit of warrant of arrest. Nakuha ba? Again, ulitin natin, pag sinabi natin prosecution, of course, yung under sa prosecution, class, nandyan si inquest proceeding. So, alayan, pag sinabi natin inquest proceeding, trabaho yan, the inquest prosecutor, to determine the validity or legality of arrest for those person arrested without the benefit of warrant of arrest. Okay? So, titingnan lang naman dyan ni prosecutor, class, kung valid ba ang pag-aresto ni arresting officer sa mga tao na na-aresto, class, na walang warrant of arrest during the time of arrest. Okay. So, of course, class, trabaho rin ni prosecutor under the prosecution, class, to determine or magsagawa ng preliminary investigation to ascertain or to determine, class, if there is a presence of the probable cause or whether or not the probable cause is present. So, trabaho rin niya yan yung mag-conduct ng preliminary investigation. Okay? So, of course, class, ang preliminary investigation is a requirement, class, or it is your right or it is a matter of right kapag yung crime na-commit mo is charged with at least 4 to 1, 4 years, 2 months, and 1 day without regards to fine. Preliminary investigation, class, is a matter of right. Okay, nakuha ba? So again, pag sinabi natin preliminary investigation is a matter of right kapag ang nakomit mo na crime is at least 4 to 1, 4 years, 2 months, and 1 day without regards to fine. So PI is a matter of right. Ibig sabihin, kapag 4 to 1 class or at least 4 to 1 ang crime na nakomit mo, so dapat kailangan talaga or it is a requirement na magkakaroon ng preliminary investigation. Trabaho rin yan ni prosecutor. Of course, class, ang paano natin or ano yung tinitingnan natin sa preliminary investigation? Ang tinitingnan na natin probably dyan is to determine yung probable cause. Tama? Kailan natin makuha ang probable cause? Of course, kailangan natin muna mag-conduct ng preliminary investigation. Ang probable cause, tinitingnan lang natin dito, class, ang existence of sufficient ground or facts, of course, to engender a well-founded belief that a crime has been committed and the person is probably guilty thereof. Of course, ang probable cause, class, titingnan na natin doon ang existence of facts or ang grounds, class. Okay, kapag sa haba-haba ng definition niya, ang tandaan niyo lang palagi pag sinabi natin probable cause is the existence of sufficient ground or facts. Okay, nakuha ba? So of course, ito yung mga some roles of the prosecutor. Okay, so yan. So lumabas daw last time, class, yung question about sa prosecution kung nangyari daw sa province, Manila Chartered City. Oh, wow. So posible na masasagot niya. Okay, so yan yung tinatawag natin or some roles of the prosecutor, class. Of course, class, una dyan is to conduct preliminary investigation. Yan yung roles ng prosecutor natin to conduct PI, tama? Of course, to make proper recommendation during the inquest of the case, refer to them by the police after the investigation of the case. Magko-comment sila. Then to represent the government or state during the prosecution of the case against the accused. Tandaan nyo, class, ang prosecutor, of course, magre-represent yan ng government. Kaya tinawag na prosecution, di ba? In favor of the government. Ibig sabihin, against the accused. Okay? So, yan. Then the act as a legal officer of the province or city in the absence of its legal officer. Then to investigate administrative cases filed against state prosecutors, provincial prosecutors, including the support staff of the National Prosecution Services or the NPS. So, ito yung mga roles, class, ni prosecutors natin. Okay? So, yan. Of course, class, before tayo mag-end, dapat ulitin natin ang kaibahan ni complaint versus information. Pag sinabi natin complaint, of course, it is a sworn written statement or sinumpaang salaysay charging a person of an offense or a crime. Then, ang nagsusubscribe dyan, class, tatlo. Whether it is the offended party, peace officer, or any public officer, or ang term natin is OPP. Then, ang complaint, class, pinafile natin yan sa prosecutor's office. While ang information naman is, it is an accusation and writing. Ibig sabihin, you allege a person na nakakommit siya ng crime under the Philippine law. Then, of course, charging a person of an offense, subscribed by the prosecutor. Of course, the former name of prosecutor is fiscal, tama? So, that is subscribed by the prosecutor. And of course, pinafile natin yan, class, sa korte. Nakuha niyo, ulitin natin. Saan, ano yung tanda nyo pag sinabi natin complaint? It is a sworn written statement or ito yung sinumpaang salaysay, while ang information naman, accusation and writing. Ang common denominator nila, class, kung titingnan ninyo, yung letter B. Ang purpose ng complaint and information is to charge a person of an offense or a crime. Then, ang nagsusubscribe sa complaint is tatlo or pwedeng offended party, peace officer, or any public officer. Pero ang information, class, sinusubscribe lang yan ni prosecutor. Saan natin ngayon pinafile si complaint? Sa prosecutor's office. At saan natin pinafile ngayon si information? Pinafile natin yan ngayon, class, sa korte. Okay? So, yun yung trabaho ng tinatawag natin, class, na prosecutor. So next time, okay, natapos na natin ang police and prosecution. So tatlong ano na lang. Ang next natin class na components is the court, corrections, and community. Konti na lang. Matatapos na natin ang CGS. So again, tandaan nyo, there are only 5 possible questions ang lalabas sa CGS. So, pero kung 5 questions man, importante, sumobra tayo, di ba? Napasobra yung ating mga na-discuss. Okay? So, mag-rest muna kayo, class. So, mag-update na ako sa GC natin kung kailan yung next natin na klase. Okay, so kasi may travel ako mamaya. Okay, 2 days. Pero sa gabi class, kapag ano ako, yung ano na yon, magkaklase tayo. So, same routine, yung 3 days na diretso-diretso, yung ginagawa natin. After natin sa CGS, pupunta tayo sa last subject sa criminal law, which is book 2. Okay, marami kayong nakuha ngayon? Marami ba kayong nakuha? So, yan. So, i-ano ko muna class ha, i-end ko muna yung ating record.